All right, let's talk about something we all deal with every single day, whether we realize it or not. I'm talking about influence. Whether you're leading a team, trying to get a project over the line, or just, navigating your daily work life, there's this invisible force always at play. So today, we're going to deconstruct it. We're going to look at the architecture of influence and really figure out how it shapes everything we do.
And let's just get this out of the way right up front. It's a simple truth. We all have it. This isn't some special skill that's just for CEOs or the big bosses, right? Nope. From the break room to the boardroom, we are all constantly shaping the environment and the people around us. It's just a core part of being human and working with other humans.
So that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? The big question isn't if you have influence, we've already established you do. The real question is, how are you using it? Like, are you using it consciously? Is the impact you're having the one you mean to have? That's exactly what we're here to unpack.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. If we really want to get a handle on influence, we've got to see it for what it truly is. It's not a single action or one big speech. It's more like a current, a constant dynamic flow that's running through every single conversation, every meeting, and every decision we're a part of. So, here's the textbook definition: the capacity to have an effect. But what does that really mean in the real world? Well, just think about it. When was the last time someone totally changed your mind about something? Or maybe you convinced a colleague to try a new approach. That right there, that was influence in action. It's that subtle but really powerful shift in how people think or act.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because influence, well, it's not just one thing. It's not black and white. It actually exists along a spectrum. And at the two opposite ends of that spectrum, you've got two totally different ways of using your power. On one end, you have the overpower approach. This is all about influence through force, authority, or pressure. It works in the short term. You get people to do what you want, but man, it can build up a lot of resentment. Then, way over on the other side, you've got empower. This is the complete opposite. It's about lifting people up, building real trust, and unlocking all that creative potential that's just waiting inside a team.
Okay, so these two approaches, overpower and empower, they build into two really distinct leadership archetypes. And trust me, these aren't just some abstract concepts from a business book. These are styles you can actually see and feel in the workplace every single day.
First up, you've got the dominator. This is that classic my way or the highway leader. Their main focus is hitting the goal, and they do it by directing people and asserting their authority. Now look, in a crisis, when you need someone to make a fast, decisive call, this can be super effective. But if you use that style day in and day out, you're gonna crush creativity and just kill morale.
And then, in stark contrast, we have the liberator. This style is a total 180. The liberator asks, how can we achieve this together? They influence by creating a shared vision that everyone can get behind. And then, and this part is key, they act as a facilitator. Their job is to remove obstacles and clear the path. It's a huge difference, right? It's about getting things done with people, not through them.
Okay, so this is the moment where we have to turn the lens back on ourselves. We've seen the spectrum, we've talked about these two archetypes. Now, where do you naturally fit in? What's your gut reaction? Because understanding your own tendency is the absolute key to becoming a more intentional and effective leader.
And yeah, this is where the real work begins. The source material is super clear on this. You can't intentionally shape your influence until you understand your starting point. And that means you've got to be really honest with yourself. It requires taking a hard look at your own behaviors and your natural instincts.
And the good news is the process for this is pretty straightforward. Step 1, just acknowledge it. Start to notice how influence moves around you in meetings and conversations. Step 2, identify your gut reaction. Is your first instinct to direct or to collaborate? And then finally, step 3, you can formalize that understanding with a true self-assessment.
So that's the big question this self-assessment helps you answer. But listen, here's the thing, and it's really important. Most of us aren't purely one or the other. We're all a mix. The goal here isn't to judge yourself or stick a label on your forehead. It's to understand your default settings so you can adapt. The most effective leaders, they know how to dial one style up and the other down depending on what the situation calls for. Because once you have that self-awareness, everything changes. You move from just unconsciously influencing people to consciously executing power. You can start making strategic choices about the kind of leader you want to be and the kind of impact you truly want to have.
This quote from the source material really just ties it all together perfectly. Knowing if your default is more dominator or more liberator isn't just some intellectual exercise. No way. It directly impacts how effectively you manage people and use your influence to get the best results for your team and for the whole organization.
So let's bring it all home. What have we learned? That influence is a constant flow, not a single action. That it exists on a spectrum between overpowering and empowering. And these styles are brought to life by the dominator and the liberator. And maybe the most critical takeaway of all is that the first step to mastering any of this is turning the lens on yourself with an honest self-assessment.
And I'll leave you with this final thought. Every interaction, every decision, every time you guide or persuade someone, you are building something. The impact you have on others becomes your professional legacy. So the only question left to answer is, what will you build with yours?